Every living being is an engine geared to the wheelwork of the universe. Though seemingly affected only by its immediate surroundings, the sphere of external influence extends to infinite distance. A person's surroundings and experiences influence him in such a direct way that it shapes him as a person and can altercate his thoughts and aspects of life. How one acts and what one does has been somewhat influenced by the things and people in their life. The amount of influence that comes from these things is different depending on how much of an impact it had on certain aspects of life. Even very small things can influence the way people act and think. Influences are all around us, and although it may not seem like something has an influence, it might just not be strong enough to be life-changing. I have been influenced greatly by the important events in my life, and the historical events in my lifetime, as well as my family and their views. Although life might sometimes bring us down, we just have to remember the root of our influences and think about the people who matter most. And among all, remember the wise words stated by a very wise fish: just keep swimming. Now let's take a look on how the whole thing got started. Historic events can have big influences on people because it changes the path of history and can alter the way people think and what someone might want to achieve in the future. One historic event that influenced me was the Boston Marathon bombing. Although this event was very tragic, it brought Boston together and united the people as one using the slogan "Boston Strong." After this, I felt much more dedicated to our great city because everyone came together and showed all their support for this devastating catastrophe. It opened my eyes to the fact that people are stronger with others, and the best way to get through anything is with support from your family and peers. After this event, I decided that one day I am going to train and run the Boston Marathon in honor of the city and the bombing that it survived. Another historical event that influenced me was Hurricane Sandy. This massive hurricane destroyed the town that my grandmother lives in, including her house. Her town was basically my second home, and I loved it very much. After the storm passed, and I heard the bad news, I immediately went down and tried to help any way that I could. Later that year, I went to New Jersey with my church on a mission trip and helped rebuild houses for a week that were still destroyed from the storm. This storm influenced me because it showed me what some people had to deal with and how some people live in such harsh conditions. It influenced me to return on the week-long mission trip with my church every year and for years to come.
Yeah, the drums they swing low, and the trumpets they go.
There are more ways to be influenced than just by historical events. Social influences also take a big part in people's lives. The biggest social influence for me are sports. Sports have taught me how to cooperate well with others and how to play fair and be honest. I have played sports all my life since I could walk, and I have gained all my good friends from playing sports. The sports that I play now are hockey and lacrosse. But growing up, I have played a variety of different sports, which includes baseball, soccer, and football. Sports have taught me discipline and how to respect others. This is from always listening to my coach and following the rules in order to play effectively. Another social influence that affects my life is music. Music is my escape from the world because when I put my headphones in, time pauses and I am free to explore my mind and just listen. Music has affected how I act because the musicians that I listen to influence me. I listen to basically all types of music. Each genre has a different mood that sets the tone for the moment. I will listen to different music depending on where I am and what I am doing. Although this is true, my favorite genres would have to be country, hip-hop, and somewhat of a soft reggae rock. Listening to an artist is like learning their life story and learning from the things that they do. Music has inspired me to learn how to play the guitar and perform in front of an audience. Although I am not the best singer, I tried my best. This has boosted my confidence by getting up on stage and performing. Although historical and social events influence people greatly, the biggest influence of life comes from our family. One of my biggest family influences is my brother. Growing up, I've always tried to be like my older brother. We play the same sports, have the same taste in music and clothes, and we even like the same foods. Although I like to be like him, I have learned from his mistakes he has made in the past. I have watched him go through high school and start his college career and have seen him make some mistakes along the way. This has taught me how to react in certain situations and how to deal with things the right way. I have learned what not to do in some circumstances and the consequences of performing certain tasks. I will always be watching him on his path of life a few steps ahead of me so that I can learn from the things that he does. My brother will always influence me moving forward in life no matter how far apart we might grow. Another family influence that has an effect on me is religion. I was born into the Catholic religion without really a choice. My parents were Catholic, so they got me baptized and entered me into the religion education. Over the years of learning the religion, I have learned what being a good Christian is. I have learned to be nice and respect others because it is the right thing to do. Because my parents did this for me and brought me into this religion, I learned about it and decided that I liked it and I wanted to stay with it. I went through the confirmation recently and I am going to put my kids in Catholic religion in the future. My third family influence is the love and support that I get from my parents. My parents support me in all the decisions that I make. They help me when I need it, and they get me through things when I'm feeling down. This has made me the person I am today, and it has made me kind and shown me the right way to treat my kids when I am older. Another family thing that has an influence on me is family vacations. Almost every year, my family and I travel somewhere on vacation. It is a great time for us to bond and become stronger as a family. We do things together and learn more about each other every time we take a trip. They show me how family is important, and I take their different views into account and use them to help build my own.
Yeah, caught up in a southern summer, barefoot blue jeans.
People need influences in their life in order to keep them on the right path. Although it is good to be independent and come up with your own thoughts, looking towards others for help and ideas is a necessity in order to grow as a person. Being influenced by someone or something strengthens your passion for things in life and shows you how to reach your goals. My main goal is to go to college and major in some type of business. After this, I would like to work in a variety of different business jobs and then eventually settle down and open a business of my own. I know that with the love and support from my parents, anything I set my mind to is possible to achieve. The support that I receive from my parents and the help and guidance that comes from my brother is enough to put me exactly where I want to be in life. On top of this, I've set other minor goals based on my influences. I'm going to run the Boston Marathon at some point in my life in honor of the bombing that occurred. I am also hoping to have a family of my own someday with children that learn from sports and religion just like me. If someone can influence another person in a good way, I consider him or her a hero. It is always my goal to influence whoever I can in a positive way and help whoever I can find their path in life. Because I believe everything in life is connected. And when I help others, my wealth will be improved in return. I want to leave this world having made a difference, with my influences written all over these streets. Everyone was put on this planet for a reason, and my ultimate goal is to find that reason and pursue it.